Someone said nice weather today to me yesterday. A stranger. At the bus stop. Just a normal human being making normal conversation.
And?
I panicked.
You panicked? Over the weather?
Over the weather. My brain went completely blank, like someone unplugged the router in my head, and all I could say was, yeah,
Yeah. One word. For the weather.
one word. And then I stood there in silence, staring at my shoes, praying for the bus to arrive.
Praying for the bus.
And as I stood there, I thought, I used to be good at this. I used to talk to strangers. I used to enjoy small talk. What happened to me?
And the answer is, it's not just you. Something happened to all of us. Small talk used to be automatic, easy, natural. And now? Now it feels like a skill we forgot how to use.
Like a muscle that got weak because we stopped using it.
Exactly. And today, we're going to talk about why small talk feels so hard now, what changed, why your brain freezes, and how to get that muscle working again in real, natural, everyday English. Hey everyone, welcome back to Real People, Real English, the podcast where even the awkward moments get a warm welcome. I'm Emma.
And I'm Henry, the man who panicked over weather. If you've ever frozen during a simple conversation, today's episode is your rescue plan.
Get comfortable. Let's talk about talking.
So here's the thing nobody admits. Small talk, the simplest form of human communication, has become one of the hardest.
And that sounds ridiculous. Small talk is supposed to be small, light, easy. Nice weather. How was your weekend? Busy day? These are not deep philosophical questions.
But somehow they feel heavy now, like every tiny conversation carries the weight of a job interview.
And I think there are 3 reasons. Reason 1, we're out of practice. For years, we socialized through screens, texts, emojis, group chats. We forgot how to use our actual voices with actual strangers.
It's like learning to ride a bike, then not riding for 5 years, then someone puts you on a bike in front of a crowd and says, go. Of course you wobble.
Reason 2, we've been trained for efficiency. Every interaction online is fast. You send a message, you get a response. No filler, no awkward pauses, no searching for words. Everything is optimized.
But real conversation is not optimized. Real conversation has pauses, fumbles, moments where you say for 3 seconds while your brain loads the next thought.
And your brain, trained by years of instant messaging, thinks those pauses are failures. It panics. Why am I not responding immediately? Something is wrong.
Nothing is wrong. You're just having a human conversation. Humans are slower than Wi-Fi, and that's okay.
I want that on a t-shirt.
And honestly, that's the whole problem right there. We've trained our brains to communicate at internet speed. Instant replies, quick reactions, no lag. But real human conversation has natural lag.
Natural lag. Like when someone asks you a question and you need a second to think. Online, that second feels like an eternity. You see the typing dots and you panic.
But in person, that second is normal. A pause, a breath, a moment of thought. It's not a failure, it's how brains work.
The problem is, we've forgotten that pauses are normal. We've been spoiled by instant communication. And now, a 2-second silence in a real conversation feels like a 2-hour silence.
It's not 2 hours, it's 2 seconds. And the other person doesn't even notice. They're probably thinking too.
Humans are slower than Wi-Fi. I want that on a t-shirt.
I want that on a t-shirt.
And honestly, that's the whole problem right there. We've trained our brains to communicate at internet speed. Instant replies, quick reactions, no lag. But real human conversation has natural lag.
Natural lag. Like when someone asks you a question and you need a second to think. Online, that second feels like an eternity. You see the typing dots and you panic.
But in person, that second is normal. A pause, a breath, a moment of thought. It's not a failure. It's how brains work.
The problem is, we've forgotten that pauses are normal. We've been spoiled by instant communication. And now a 2-second silence in a real conversation feels like a 2-hour silence.
It's not 2 hours, it's 2 seconds. And the other person doesn't even notice. They're probably thinking too.
And reason 3, the stakes feel higher. When you haven't talked to strangers in a while, every conversation feels like it matters too much. Like this one small talk moment will define how the other person sees you forever.
But it won't. They'll forget the conversation in 5 minutes. You're the only one replaying it at midnight.
The midnight replay. We talked about that in our confidence episode. Your brain's favorite late night activity, reviewing every awkward moment in high definition.
And that brings me to something important. The energy cost of small talk has changed.
What do you mean?
Before screens, your brain socialized throughout the day. You walked past colleagues, chatted at lunch, said hello to neighbors. Small talk happened naturally, dozens of times a day, and your brain barely registered the effort.
But now your brain socializes digitally all day. Messages, emails, calls, and by the time you're face to face with a real human, your social battery is already drained.
Your brain says, I've already had 50 conversations today. And technically it has, 50 digital ones, but 0 face-to-face ones. And face-to-face uses a completely different part of your social brain.
So when the stranger at the bus stop says, "Nice weather," your brain has to boot up a system it hasn't used all day. And that boot up takes effort. That's why it feels hard.
It's not that you're bad at talking. It's that your face-to-face muscles are cold. They need warming up, just like your body before exercise.
Okay, let's start by understanding what small talk actually is, because I think most people misunderstand it.
Small talk is not about the content. It's not about the weather. It's not about the traffic. It's not about how busy you are.
Small talk is a social handshake. It's two humans saying, "I see you, you're safe. We can exist in this space together."
That's beautiful. And it's true. When someone says, nice weather, they're not asking for a meteorological report. They're saying, hey, I'm friendly. You can relax.
And when you respond, even with just, "Yeah, really nice," you're saying, "I received your friendliness. I'm safe too."
Small talk is not about information. It's about connection signals, like two animals in the wild sniffing each other. No deep conversation needed, just, we're okay here.
We're like animals sniffing each other at bus stops.
Basically, yes, very sophisticated animals, with phones.
And once you understand this, once you realize small talk is a signal, not a test, it becomes so much less stressful.
Because you don't need to be interesting. You don't need to be clever. You don't need to have a perfect response. You just need to be present and warm. That's the whole job.
Let me give you an example. Two people at a coffee shop. Person A says, "This place is always so crowded." Person B says, "I know, right? I've been waiting 10 minutes."
Nothing deep was said. No life stories, no opinions. Just two people acknowledging the same reality. And yet, both of them feel slightly less alone now.
That's the magic of small talk. It doesn't change your life, but it reminds you that you're part of one.
Part of a shared human experience. Waiting in line, standing in rain, sitting on a delayed train. Small talk says, we're in this together. And together is the opposite of lonely.
Now, let's talk about why small talk is especially hard for English learners.
Because in your own language, small talk is unconscious. You don't think about it. The words come automatically. How are you? Fine, you? Done. 0 effort.
But in English, that same simple exchange requires conscious processing. How do I respond? Is this the right phrase? Do I sound natural? Am I speaking too slowly? Too fast? Is my accent obvious?
Your brain is running 5 programs at once: language processing, social anxiety, cultural rules, pronunciation monitoring, and self doubt, all at the same time, for a conversation about the weather.
No wonder it feels exhausting. You're not doing one thing, you're doing 5 things, and they're all competing for brain power.
And here's the cruel part: the harder you try to sound natural, the less natural you sound. Because natural means relaxed, and you can't be relaxed when you're monitoring every syllable.
It's like trying to fall asleep. The harder you try, the more awake you become.
So, what's the solution?
Memorized phrases. Seriously, have 5 or 6 small talk responses ready in your brain, pre-loaded, so you don't have to think in the moment. Your brain just grabs the phrase and delivers it.
Like having a script for the easy parts, so your brain can save its energy for the harder parts.
Let's build that script. The essential small talk phrases.
Phrase 1, the greeting response. When someone says, "How are you?" or "How's it going?" you say, "Good, thanks. You?" Or, "Not bad. How about you?" That's it. Nothing more needed.
And remember, how are you is not a real question. It's a greeting. Nobody wants a detailed answer. Good, thanks, is the entire answer.
If you say, "Well, actually, I've been feeling a bit anxious lately, and my back hurts, and I didn't sleep well," the other person will not know what to do.
They asked for a greeting, and you gave them a medical history.
Save the real answer for real friends. Strangers get, "Good, thanks."
Phrase 2, the weather bridge. When someone mentions the weather, you agree and add one thing. Yeah, it's gorgeous today. I know, finally some sun. Right? I almost didn't bring a jacket.
The key is agree. Never disagree in weather small talk. If they say, "Beautiful day," don't say, "Actually, I prefer rain." Just agree. Small talk is not debate club.
And here's a bonus technique, the echo and add. When someone says something in small talk, you repeat one word and add a small piece. They say, busy day? You say, so busy. I haven't even had lunch yet.
Echo and add. They say, "This rain is crazy." You say, "Crazy, right? I got completely soaked walking here."
The echo shows you're listening. The add keeps the conversation moving. It's the simplest technique and it works every time.
And the beautiful thing is, this doesn't require creativity. You don't need to think of something original. You just echo their word and add your experience.
Small talk is not debate club. Important rule.
Phrase 3, the weekend question. Any plans for the weekend? This is the most reliable small talk question in English. It works with colleagues, neighbors, acquaintances, anyone.
And the response can be anything. Not much, just relaxing. Yeah, meeting some friends. Honestly, I just want to sleep. All fine.
And then ask back. Always ask back. How about you? What about you? You doing anything fun? The ask back keeps the conversation alive.
Phrase 4, the compliment opener. Complimenting something small is a great way to start a conversation. I love your jacket. Great shoes. That coffee smells amazing. Something specific and genuine.
And most people respond warmly. "Oh, thanks. I got it on sale." And suddenly, you're in a conversation without even trying.
Phrase 5, the exit phrase. Because knowing how to leave is just as important as knowing how to start. Well, I should get going. Nice chatting with you. I'll let you go. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Exit phrases are essential. Without them, small talk becomes a hostage situation. You've been there. We've all been there. Standing in a conversation that ended 5 minutes ago, but nobody knows how to stop it.
Well, I should get going is the key that unlocks the door. Use it freely.
And here's a pro tip. After your exit phrase, move physically. Take a step, turn your body, pick up your bag. Because if you say, I should get going, but then stand perfectly still, it doesn't work. Your words say leaving, but your body says staying. Your body has to match.
Words plus movement. That's how you exit gracefully. A hostage situation where neither person knows how to leave.
You've been there. We've all been there. Standing in a conversation that ended 5 minutes ago, but nobody knows how to stop it.
Well, I should get going is the key that unlocks the door. Use it freely.
And here's a pro tip. After your exit phrase, move physically. Take a step, turn your body, pick up your bag. Because if you say, I should get going, but then stand perfectly still, it doesn't work. Your words say leaving, but your body says staying. Your body has to match.
Words plus movement. That's how you exit gracefully.
You've been there. We've all been there. Standing in a conversation that ended 5 minutes ago, but nobody knows how to stop it.
Well, I should get going is the key that unlocks the door. Use it. If you memorize just those 5 phrases, greeting, weather, weekend, compliment, exit, you can handle 90% of small talk situations in English. 90%.
You don't need 100 phrases. You need 5 good ones and the confidence to use them.
And if you understood this whole section, your English is already at the level where small talk is possible. You're not waiting to be ready. You're ready now. You just need practice. Now let's go deeper. Because small talk isn't just about phrases, it's about something bigger.
It's about belonging.
Belonging. The feeling that you're part of the world around you, that you can participate in the everyday rhythm of human life, not just observe it.
And for many English learners, small talk is the first door to belonging. Because if you can chat with your neighbor, joke with the barista, talk to a colleague in the hallway, you're part of the community, not an outsider looking in.
Small talk is the entrance fee to social life. It's not deep, but it opens the door to everything that is.
Every friendship starts with small talk. Every relationship starts with small talk. Every business deal starts with small talk. The deep stuff comes later, but it always starts with something small.
And I want to add something from personal experience. The loneliest period of my life was not when I was physically alone. It was when I was surrounded by people but couldn't make small talk.
Tell me more.
I moved to a new city. I had a job, I had colleagues, but I couldn't get past the surface. Every conversation was hi and bye, nothing in between. And after 3 months, I knew everyone's name but nobody's story.
Everyone's name, but nobody's story. That's isolation hiding inside a crowd.
And the breakthrough happened on the most ordinary Tuesday. I was making coffee in the office kitchen. A colleague walked in, and instead of my usual nod and silence, I said, "That mug is huge. How much coffee is in there?"
That was your breakthrough line?
That was it. She laughed. She said, "Honestly, I need this much to survive Monday meetings." And we started talking. And that tiny comment about a coffee mug became a real conversation, which became a lunch, which became a friendship.
A friendship that started with a mug comment.
Every big thing starts with something ridiculously small. That's what small talk is. The ridiculously small beginning of something potentially big.
And for our listeners who are introverts, who find all social interaction tiring, small talk doesn't have to be long. 30 seconds is enough. A single exchange is enough. You don't need to become a social butterfly. You just need to open one small window.
A window, not a door. You don't have to invite people into your whole life. Just let a little air in, a smile, a sentence, a moment of warmth. Then close the window if you need to. That's okay.
Introvert-friendly small talk. Start small, stay brief, exit gracefully, and know that even 30 seconds of connection counts.
A listener once wrote to us, I've lived in London for 2 years. My English is strong, but I've never had a real conversation with my neighbors because I don't know how to start. I see them every day. I smile, but I never speak.
2 years of silence with the people who live 10 feet away from you. Not because of language, because of fear.
And the saddest part, those neighbors might be thinking the same thing. The person next door seems nice. I wish they'd talk to me, but they never do. Maybe they don't want to.
Two people, 10 feet apart, both wanting connection, both waiting for the other to go first, both staying silent.
Someone has to go first, and today we're asking you to be that someone. Let me share two quick stories.
Story 1. A friend of mine moved to Canada. She's from South Korea. Her English is excellent, but she told me, Emma, the hardest part of living in Canada is not the language, it's the small talk.
Why?
Because in her culture, you don't talk to strangers at bus stops. You don't comment on the weather to someone you don't know. It's not rude, it's just not done. So when Canadians kept starting conversations with her, she froze. Not because she couldn't understand, because she didn't have the cultural script.
Cultural script. That's an important concept. Every culture has unwritten rules about when and how to make small talk. And when you move to a new culture, you have to learn a whole new script.
She told me it took about 6 months before she felt comfortable saying, nice weather, back. 6 months. Not because of English, because of the cultural adjustment. And this is important for every English learner to hear. If small talk feels hard for you, it might not be your English. It might be your culture. And that's not a weakness. It's an adjustment.
In some cultures, talking to strangers is warm and expected. In others, it's strange and intrusive. Neither is wrong. They're just different. Now let's go deeper. Because small talk isn't just about phrases. It's about something bigger.
But if you're living in a culture where small talk is expected, like the US, Canada, UK, Australia, learning to do it isn't fake. It's adapting, just like learning the language. You're learning the social language too.
And social language is just as real as grammar. Maybe more real. Because grammar gets you understood. Social language gets you connected. Story 2. I have a student who works in tech. He does video calls all day with people from 5 different countries. He said, Henry, the 2 minutes of small talk before the meeting starts are harder than the entire meeting.
Because the meeting has an agenda. There are topics, there's structure. But the 2 minutes before? That's unstructured, free form, no agenda, just humans being human.
And for many people, unstructured conversation is terrifying because there's no script, no guide, just you, your brain, and the pressure to sound normal.
But here's what he learned. He prepared 3 small talk topics before every call. How's the weather there? Did you do anything fun this weekend? Have you tried any good restaurants lately?
3 topics, ready to go. And the small talk stopped being terrifying because he had a plan.
Preparation kills anxiety. When you know what you're going to say, the fear shrinks. And that's true for all of us, not just English learners. Native speakers also prepare for small talk. They also think about what to say before a networking event. They also feel relief when they have a topic ready.
The difference is, native speakers don't think of it as preparation. They think of it as thinking about what to say. Same thing, different label.
So don't feel embarrassed about preparing small talk topics. Everyone does it. Confident people just don't admit it.
Now, directly to you.
If small talk makes you anxious, in English or in any language, you're not broken. You're not weird. You're normal. Small talk is genuinely difficult after years of digital communication.
But it's also genuinely important. Because small talk is how humans warm up to each other. It's the appetizer before the main course. Skip it, and the main course never arrives.
So here's your homework. This week, initiate 1 small talk exchange, just 1, with a stranger, a neighbor, a colleague. Nice weather today. How's your morning going? I like your bag.
One sentence. That's all it takes to break the silence. And whatever happens next, even if it's awkward, you did the thing. You opened the door.
And awkward is fine. Awkward is human. The best conversations of your life probably started awkwardly.
Word replay time. First, small talk.
Light, casual conversation about everyday topics, not deep or personal. I'm getting better at small talk. Let's repeat. Small talk.
Small talk. Next, chit chat.
Informal, friendly conversation. Similar to small talk, but even more casual. We had a nice chit chat in the elevator. Let's repeat. Chit chat.
Chit chat. Next, filler.
A word or phrase used to fill silence, like, so, you know. Fillers are natural in real conversation. Let's repeat. Filler.
Filler. Next, awkward.
Uncomfortable and slightly embarrassing. The silence felt awkward, but I survived it. Let's repeat. Awkward.
Awkward. Next, acquaintance.
Someone you know slightly, but who is not a close friend. She's an acquaintance from work. Let's repeat. Acquaintance.
Acquaintance. Next, break the ice.
To start a conversation or reduce tension in a social situation. A simple compliment can break the ice. Let's repeat. Break the ice.
Break the ice. And our last phrase, get going.
To leave. To start moving. Used to exit a conversation politely. Well, I should get going. Nice talking to you. Let's repeat. Get going.
Get going.
7 phrases that cover the entire landscape of small talk, from starting it, to surviving it, to escaping it.
Practice them. Use them. They're your social toolkit. And one final tip before our closing. The best small talk doesn't feel like small talk. The best small talk feels like noticing.
Noticing.
Yes, noticing something real about the moment and saying it out loud. That sunset is ridiculous. Your dog is staring at my sandwich. This elevator is taking forever.
Your dog is staring at my sandwich. That's actually perfect small talk.
Because it's specific, it's real, it's happening right now, and it invites the other person to laugh or agree or share. No preparation needed. Just look around you, notice something, say it.
That's the advanced level of small talk. Beginners use memorized phrases. Advanced speakers notice reality and comment on it. Both are valid, both work.
Start with memorized phrases. Graduate to noticing. That's the progression. That's our episode.
If this helped you feel less alone in your small talk anxiety, please like, subscribe, and share it. Especially with someone who also freezes at bus stops.
In the comments, I'm your name from your country, and the last time small talk felt awkward was we read everyone.
Free PDF in the description. 20 phrases, 7-day challenge, everything you need.
Monday through Friday, bell.
And here's what we want to leave you with.
Small talk is not small. It's the thread that connects strangers into neighbors, colleagues into friends, and awkward silence into human warmth.
You don't need perfect English to make small talk. You need 5 phrases, a warm tone, and the willingness to go first.
And the willingness to be awkward. Because awkward is just brave in its first draft.
Awkward is brave in its first draft. That might be the best thing you've ever said, Henry.
I'm keeping that one.
You should, because it's true for everything. Your first English sentence was awkward. Your first job interview was awkward. Your first time ordering coffee in English was awkward.
And every single one of those awkward moments led somewhere real. The awkwardness was the price of admission. And you paid it. And you're still here.
Still here, still learning, still growing, and getting less awkward every day. Awkward is brave in its first draft. That might be the best thing you've ever said, Henry. Awkward is brave in its first draft. That might be the best thing you've ever said, Henry.
I'm keeping that one.
You should, because it's true for everything. Your first English sentence was awkward. Your first job interview was awkward. Your first time ordering coffee in English was awkward.
And every single one of those awkward moments led somewhere real. The awkwardness was the price of admission. And you paid it. And you're still here.
Still here, still learning, still growing, and getting less awkward every day.
I'm keeping that one.
You should. So, this week, one small talk moment, one sentence, one door opened.
Your bus stop stranger is waiting.
Take care of your conversations, even the small ones, and take care of yourself.
This was Real People, Real English. I'm Henry.
And I'm Emma. We'll see you next week.
Bye, everyone.
Bye. And if someone says, nice weather, please, for the love of English, say more than, yeah.
More than yeah. Bye-bye.